Aquaman was successful in just about every way that mattered. It scored a reasonable, if not amazing, 65% on Rotten Tomatoes, giving it the second highest score of any DC Extended Universe film at the time of release. It also made over $1.1 billion at the box office, making it far away the highest grossing film in the DCEU to this day. In spite of everything Aquaman has going for it, however, it is not without its flaws. So here are my 5 steps for making Aquaman an even more enjoyable experience and a solid entry in any superhero movie list. Step 1. Have Aquaman get injured during his fight for the throne. Aquaman should get a scrape or a scratch or something during the fight with his half-brother, because up until his face-off with Black Manta, the movie depicts him as being virtually invulnerable. We need to be shown early on that he can, in fact, be hurt, and that the Atlanteans are indeed a threat to him. That way, the stakes feel more real to us, and we are actually worried about his well-being and the outcome of his adventure. Step 2. Don't use up Black Manta in this movie. The film already has a terrific villain in Orm, so it was really a shame that it used up Black Manta as basically a throwaway secondary villain. The question is, what could he possibly do in a sequel that would top what he's done in this movie? He already made the ultimate weapon in the form of his optic blasts, and he was summarily defeated by Aquaman in the ensuing battle. What other abilities could be added to his suit that could pose more of a threat than what we've already seen here? If the answer to this question is stronger optic blasts, then that's going to feel utterly ridiculous in the sequel. All of this is not even mentioning the fact that it made no sense that the Atlanteans would give him their most powerful weapon just to do something with it that they're much more capable of accomplishing themselves, or that they'd give him an entire week alone with said weapon to modify it however he wants. His story should have ended at the submarine. Aquaman gave him reason to want revenge, and that's it. Then, in a post-credit scene, you see him arrive after one of Aquaman's battles, and he picks up the armor and weapons off of a dead Atlantean, and gets to work creating his suit for the sequel. Step 3. Make Black Manta's motivations a little more nuanced. If Black Manta had a really good reason to work for Orm, something other than his greed, then we would feel more for him when his father dies, and so we'd sympathize with his character. And then when Arthur feels guilty for letting his father die, we would sympathize with Arthur as well, because we know that Black Manta and his father were not purely evil as they were depicted in the actual movie. Step 4. Don't make it sound like a video game. When Volko explained what Arthur needed to do to get the trident, it seriously sounded like exposition in a video game cutscene, and it even came complete with a mini boss battle afterwards. The movie needed a better way to convey this information than with such an unabashed info dump. They could have given Aquaman visions of the history of Atlantis when he touched some ancient relic, or had him discover an ancient recording, or something like that, rather than having all that information along with his objectives laid out in such an obvious and straightforward manner. Step 5. Don't intertwine the flashbacks. Every time the movie cut to a flashback, it was incredibly jarring, and it took us away from the flow of the story. It should have either had a flashback/training montage at some point during the film, or cut to flashbacks when Arthur is reflecting or sleeping or something to that effect. If he's diving off of a cliff, don't cut in the middle to show him doing the exact same dive with Volko. If we saw that flashback earlier in the film, we would obviously be able to connect the dots without needing that distracting break in the action. Well, what did you think of the DCEU's third solo outing? Let me know in the comments below. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of my videos in the future, please subscribe using the circle on the left. And be sure to press the bell icon so that you'll be notified when I upload. And thank you to everyone who has already subscribed to my channel. With your help, I might just be able to keep the lights on.